requires is that you have to have them be open. That means the public and the press get to attend. As I said, not necessarily to participate. Great if they allow questions, but that's not what state law requires. And they're entitled to record the meeting. Law is very clear about this. You're entitled to video record, audio record a meeting. Take photographs during the meeting. We've got a case, as I mentioned before, going on where the city of Cumming did not allow that. They disagree about the outcome, so the case is in litigation, but I will tell you that this was a case where they asked a young woman who was recording the meeting to stop recording the meeting. And unfortunately, she recorded them saying, "You're not allowed to record the meeting." So I think we have a good case. They think they maybe have a good case. This is not their side of the story, but the law is plain that you're allowed to video record meetings. Okay. Votes that are taken in violation
Question.
Ma'am.
So once you record it, what are you allowed to do with it?
That's your recording. You can do whatever you want with it.
You can share that in any kind of a public forum on your own.
Post it on the internet. Put it on YouTube. You can send an email with it. You can wrap it up and give it to your kids for Christmas. Very strange kids. Ma'am. Absolutely, and we're going to get to that in just a minute. Sit tight, we're almost there. Okay, so, votes. In the view of our office, no vote is binding if it should have been taken at a meeting, if it was taken in private rather than in public. As we'll discuss when we get to the exceptions, there are a couple instances where you can take a pre-vote, but it's not binding. Only the open vote is binding, and every vote must be open. There's a rule on challenging these votes, however. If you want to say the vote is illegal, wasn't taken in the open, you have 90 days to file that lawsuit and a 6-month period to find out about it. So, if the vote was in secret and 10 months go by, even though no one knew that a secret vote was taken, that's too late.
I have a question back here.
Yes, sir.
You previously talked about meetings and giving notice, and it's a little previous to what you are discussing, but how much notice needs to be given when meetings are held?
Good question. It takes us to our next slide. Notice an agenda. Oh, hold on, we've got another question, ma'am.
I have a question.
Can you hold, please? If you have questions, please just raise your hand and we'll bring the microphone to you because we want to share with everyone, please. Thank you.
Okay, the court action. Why do you want to file a complaint if you really not want to take a personal court action if you're aware of an open meeting violation?
Well, if you find out about an open meetings violation, or an open records violation for that matter, you can contact our office. We like to get contact on paper. You can send me an email. In fact, rather than waiting to the end, let me tell everybody my email address right now. I'll give you my phone number as well. And again, trust me, I get a lot of contacts, so if I miss you, you just take that as par for the course and keep trying. Because I do get a lot of messages and a lot of contacts. My email address is sritter, S-R-I-T-T-E-R, @law.ga.gov. sritter @law.ga.gov. And my phone number is 404-656-7298. 404-656-7298. That's the closest I have, by the way, to a direct dial. They still catch my calls, but I invite you, if you really have something that you cannot work out, and I always want you to try to work it out first, you can call us. If you want to make a complaint with our office, I want at least an email and probably a letter or a fax. I get a lot, And we can't address every single one. Now, here's the thing about this. That is not the same as going to court. Because if we say we think they violated the law, we are dependent on the good graces of those government officials to say, okay, we will comply with the law. If we find recurrent violators who ignore our advice, we'll take them to court. If we find serious violations that we think are unremedied, we'll take them to court. Again, we represent the state, not you, when we do that. But we do not have the resources to take every single one to court. So you want to go to court, you want an order saying you must do this, you need to go to court. And the best way to go to court is to hire an attorney. It's expensive, it's a pain. That's why we created our mediation program. Our mediation program exists to try to amicably resolve these things. Because again, government officials, most of the time, I think are really trying to act in good faith, even when they stumble. And they're happy when we tell them, no, you got it wrong. You need to do it this way. They'll often do it. We've got 2 questions. Let me start. First over here.
So how would an indigent person address violations if they have a violation, they come to your office, they're not able to hire?
Right. And I appreciate that. The question is, how does an indigent person who can't afford to hire an attorney? Attorneys are expensive for everybody to hire. And sometimes it seems like the cost for an attorney outweighs what you're going to get. The bottom line is we do not function as legal aid. You can go to legal aid and try to get it, or you can go into court pro se. You can get a group of like-minded citizens to go and share the cost, but we cannot represent you. We do not have the authority to represent citizens going into court.
For your mediation program, how does that interact with this 30-day deadline? Pause?
Yes, the mediation program that we have is nowhere stated in statute. In other words, we created it as a way to try to resolve disputes. But this 90-day period that I mentioned a moment ago, that's down at the bottom of this, that is not told because you came to us. So if you have an open meetings violation and you need to get into court right away to remedy that vote, you need to go to court. Do not wait for us. I hate it when citizens say, I talked to you and I didn't go to court. You have an obligation to go to court and take care of it. You want to do that. We have the discretion to decide whether we want to take something to court or not. I've got another question right here.